Hey, welcome back into today's video. We're going to be talking about Gabbie Hanna and her advice on mental health and depression, and in specific, her response to criticism that she received on that. As well as something that Graceffa said that I feel like ties into why she has a hard time handling these types of situations if you're unfamiliar. This is Gabbie Hanna. Gabbie Hanna is an American singer, songwriter, internet personality, author, artist, and actress. She rose to prominence on the video platform Vine and YouTube before releasing her debut single Out Loud in 2017. She's 31 years old. Gabbie Hanna has just about 5.32 million subscribers on YouTube, and I don't think she posts anymore. Well, she posts sometimes. She's actually retired since then and only uses it to post songs. Now, I'm not really going to go into detail as to why she decided to retire from YouTube and not post very often, but it does have to do with a docuseries that she at one point tried to release. She didn't finish this. It was about anybody who did her any type of wrong on the internet. It did not go over well. Graceffa was one of those people. Him and Gabbie at one time were close friends, and he picked her to participate in his project called Escape the Night. Escape the Night was a reality TV series that was released in 2016. It had 10 guests that were invited from the modern world to attend a dinner at host's newly acquired mansion estate, which has been locked in the 1920s. There were 4 seasons. But it was the longest running series on YouTube Premium until its cancellation in 2020. It was said that Gabbie was an absolute nightmare to work with and ruined the production.
Season 4, Gabbie, I had issues with her. I also had issues with her on season 2. I don't think I've ever said her name publicly, but it's not really news to anyone. She was miserable to work with for the most part. There were good moments. If she was great on camera, which she was, and she was very entertaining, I forget about all that shit. And then season 4, she was a nightmare. I'm not going to expand upon that because I don't really care anymore. It was just hard. There were a lot of diva antics. There was a lot of yelling, a lot of screaming, a lot of unprofessional behavior. It was miserable, but it turned out entertaining on the show, so I can't really hold that.
Oh, there was one in season 4 too.
Really?
Sure. Yeah, that was season 4 was my least favorite to film by far.
Why?
Just because
Drama.
of this one person on the cast who just made it hell.
Really?
Is it true that there was drama on the set of season 4?
Yeah, absolutely. How was Gabbie? Gabbie was very competitive. She
would be.
She was.
Like, I wasn't expecting it at all. Looking
no,
good now.
she was missing.
I would never play Mafia with her. You know that game?
I wouldn't play any game with her. She'll own up to the fact that she was a little nasty on set.
Gabbie came out in a now deleted video where she told her version of the events, which were filled with screenshots on mental health reasons for why she acted so terrible. The specific accusations were very quickly debunked by Joey and Daniel Prada. Now, if you guys want to go down this rabbit hole, I'm going to put the videos, all 3 of them, in the pinned comment below. Start with Gabbie's video around the 22:42 mark, and then go watch Joey's and then Daniel's. Now, there was a lot of people that Gabbie talked about in her docuseries, but the reason I brought this situation up specifically is because Joey recently talked in a podcast, full coverage podcast titled Escape the Night, What Really Happened, featuring Joey Graceffa. And the hosts are Manny MUA and Laura Lee.
It was like, and I was just like watching the video and just like yelling at my screen, like, oh my god, like,
you're like
lies, Liza Minnelli.
Yes.
And I was just like, oh my god, she's twisting the truth. And I was so scared because she's very good at manipulating. Like she's good at it. Like she's so good at like making you feel bad for her that I was like, oh my god, okay. Hopefully people aren't going to like believe her, but like I can see why they would because she's so convincing.
Right.
And so I was freaking out. I was already like planning like my response.
I feel like it's interesting because Joey's somebody that at one point in time was very close to Gabbie, and he feels that she is very manipulative, and he's afraid of this. This also reflects with Jessie Smile. She had similar experiences where she felt like Gabbie was very manipulative, and I think it just showcases where there's a common trend where the fallouts between these friends kind of go in the same direction.
The thing with Gabbie is like we were friends, and like there's still a part of me that really cares about her. Like I still see videos of her, and I'm like,
Gabbie
I
too a little.
Like,
I mean, I do.
Yeah. Like I want to like maybe mend this relationship in the future.
Oh,
but,
that's amazing,
but the thing
Joey.
is, I don't know if she would ever get to the place where
I think she
could
would
apologize.
I think Gabbie will. I think it's gonna take time, but I see Gabbie. I think she's gonna get there. I think she's gonna apologize.
I don't know. It's that's the part that's so frustrating because we had a text conversation years before this happened where like I confronted her, and it was the most like exhausting thing to just get her to understand where she went wrong. And so like still for her to like continue this, but yeah, like I still see videos of her and I'm like, oh, like I miss her because there's like there is a part of her that is really good.
Yes.
There
and,
is.
There is. I've had great interactions
I've had
with her.
good interactions with Gabbie.
Like she's a good person, but there's just something that it's hard for her to wrap her mind around her being in the wrong.
So it looks like there's a demonstration of an inability to completely understand from Gabbie's side, but Joey, as her friend, is trying to explain across these situations to pinpoint an accurate conclusion, but it's just not happening. But he does say something that I feel like is very key.
Because you knew her so well, you have a soft spot for her.
We actually like we have similar histories with our parents, like having like
I know that.
parents with like so we connected on that level, and like we had so many heart to hearts, even like during all her scandals. Like I was there to support her and stuff like behind the scenes, so like we did have a strong connection. But that's why I think it hurt me so much on Escape the Night, is because like she's making
felt like you're a good friend. Like you're a good friend to her.
Like why are you doing this to
and
me?
I know
like,
that hurt.
That shit
I know
hurts.
that hurt.
Like, like I'm supposed to be your friend and you're making this hell for me. Like,
As someone who's also dealt with family members where addiction was present, I can tell you how deeply it impacts you as a child. I don't doubt that Gabbie's dealing with deep emotions that contribute to her ability to properly digest situations and contribute to proper feedback, which brings us to her TikTok. Gabbie Hanna's TikTok, which she calls herself Trauma Queen, you can see she uploads quite a bit, and it's become her main platform recently. Now, there's a multitude of things that we can talk about here. I don't know what that was. But we're going to focus on her life-changing tip to overcome depression forever, because there's a lot of backlash that was put on this, and there's some things we need to talk about. Posted on 4/1, is that April Fool's Day? It says, life-changing tip to overcome depression forever. Hashtag mental health, hashtag a fair shot with block, and hashtag hobbies. What is that?
Listen up! This advice is about to change your life! I have the ick. This tip is not just for overcoming depression. This is gonna get you excited to wake up every day. It's 10:30, I just got up. Neither here nor there! You gotta get a hobby. Better get a hobby! A lot of them. Just one at a time. But in your head, if you have so many hobbies that you're excited about, do you ever scroll TikTok and go, I want to do that? I just saw a guy make a rug. He just made it. That's awesome. He just has like a little rug studio. I think it was in his house. I want to set up a little rug making studio in my house. That is sick. I want to write murder mystery novels because I'm really, really paranoid. And the scenarios that I come up with in my brain are bestsellers. Timeless classics. How can I possibly be sad when I haven't even started my Nancy Drew era yet? How can I be sad when I've never made a rug yet? I haven't started crafting jewelry yet. Sure as have not tried any water sports, and I sure as never will, but you might want to. You're sitting there depressed. You've never gotten on a jet ski, and you want to? You got nothing to live for? You've never jumped out of a plane? I'm not gonna do it. You might want to do that though. You're sitting here like, I don't want to live, and you want to parasail and you've never go parasail! I think I'm not gonna be a gourmet chef. I got a lifetime left of hobbies. Get you a hobby. You'll never be sad again.
I feel like this is false advertisement because depression is a little bit more complex than that. Now, I understand like getting hobbies do distract you and they do help keep you busy. But on a fundamental level, I have a lot of hobbies and I'm still dealing with some sadness from time to time. I'm sure you guys can relate. One commenter says, would love to get a hobby, but unfortunately I've got to pay my bills and I have to work 16 hours a day. To which Gabbie responds, dang sis, you got time to watch and comment on TikToks, but you can't learn an instrument or how to knit. That's a you choice, my friend, and that's not absolutely correct. Some people are in life situations where they're not able to be as flexible as you might be. Another one saying, baby, I gotta go to work, to which she says, you got time for TikTok. Again, as other creators have demonstrated about this topic, most people, when they get on TikTok, they're just mindlessly scrolling. They're not really paying attention. It's just kind of like a distraction from the daily terribles of life. Did I just make a new saying? The daily terribles of life. Now, obviously, there's some disconnect here. I don't think she completely understands that there are some people out there, single mothers at home, nobody helps them. They got to go to work, working 2 jobs just so they can pay for stuff for their children. Some people are in situations like that and they can't afford even time to think about their depression. There was a lot of people that reacted to Gabbie's TikToks saying that she was privileged to be in these situations to where she can just do these things whenever she wants to. And she responded to them saying this.
To respond to this comment instead of one of the comments saying that I'm privileged for telling people to raise their quality of life, that they should pick up a hobby or follow their passions. Because exactly this. First of all, you don't have to have money to have a hobby. A lot of hobbies don't require a lot up front. A lot of supplies are really cheap. Pencils, pens, and paper are cheap. Paint, like literally $1 a bottle paint. That's what I still paint with now. There's a ton of you can find at thrift stores, discount stores. You can thrift flip, or if you really can't afford anything, you can find something that costs literally $0. That's the beauty of creativity. Now, when it comes to people saying, well, I have a job, I don't have time for that. You're commenting on TikTok. Get it the together. Stop making excuses for your miserable lifestyle and create a good lifestyle. The whole point of life is to enjoy it. If you choose to spend your spare time scrolling on TikTok, commenting on other people's life when they're giving you advice to live the life that you want to live, which is apparently I don't work and I have unlimited time and funds to do all my hobbies. Okay, do you want that life? Then follow my advice. Rule 1 is following your passion and making the first step. Rule 2 is get your ass off of TikTok in your spare time, or don't. That's perfectly fine. Because guess what? Scrolling TikTok is a perfectly acceptable hobby. But don't get mad at somebody else for trying to encourage you to follow your dreams because you don't have the balls or drive to do it. You know how many years I went without watching TV? I just started using TikTok again recently. What the do you think I've been doing for the past year? I think I've been doing nothing in my house for a year while I wasn't posting TikToks or YouTube videos? No, I was working on I'm passionate about. I gave up the thing that wasn't fulfilling me and I worked on the that is. And now I'm back because now I can find the healthy balance and now I get to share those things with you guys. So for everybody hurt in the comments of my video trying to inspire you to pick up a hobby, don't pick up a hobby. Don't take my advice. You don't have time for a hobby, but you would rather spend your time on TikTok and leaving comments on TikTok? Do you? That's a you problem. Don't call me privileged because I worked my ass up from ground zero to be able to make a lifestyle out of my hobby.
I think there's a communication error here. Again, she's coming across like she's calling people lazy because they have the ability to scroll on TikTok when they could be working on a hobby. And again, I've said this before, that's not how it works. It's very obvious to me that she's never worked in a carpet mill in the middle of a Georgia summer. It's usually 90-something degrees in those carpet mills, and people are just trying to distract themselves from what did I say earlier? The terribles of their life, the little terribles. One commenter saying, she's so out of touch and helps no one. She responds, you're out of touch in my opinion. Another commenter brings up a really good point that I wanted to share here. She says, you realize the main symptom of major depression is lack of motivation and losing interest in everything. You think we haven't tried to have hobbies. I feel like this is a really important comment because I'm there with you. Like, I get depressed sometimes and I'm the type of person where I withdraw inward. It's not a healthy thing. It's something that I'm working on, but I push people away. And I think there's a lot of us out there that do this. And the last thing you're going to be wanting to think about is a hobby. I have a lot of hobbies. I work out, I run, I do all kinds of different things. But the depression hits different sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Now, there are some things that she's saying that are absolutely 100% correct. It is going to be challenging to change your life situation, and it's easy to make excuses about that. But there's a better way to portray the message across like I'm doing right now. Life's going to be tough sometimes. It's going to be difficult. You're not lazy for scrolling TikTok. Sometimes, some days, progress is not linear. Sometimes as long as you're taking the tiniest step, the tiniest step. That's all that matters. Just don't give up. Some days you're gonna like be able to step just once, and the next day you might take 6 steps, and then the next day you might be back at 1 step. But the key to it is just to never give up. But like making this approach that she has here, it's not good. It feels like she's calling people lazy, and it really does come off like she's very privileged. The idea of just getting up and doing what you want is kind of ableist, TBH. Not everyone has the mental or physical ability to follow their dreams. I actually want to know what you guys feel about this in the comment section below. Let me know. I'm going to be reading. Let's see what Gabbie has to say.
I once saw a makeup artist with no hands beat his entire face better than I ever could with his feet. My good friend Molly Burke, blind as a bat. She loves makeup, fashion, home decor. There are people with no legs competing in professional worldwide sports in the Olympics. Wasn't Beethoven deaf? One of the greatest composers of all time. Wasn't he deaf? Nothing that I said about finding a hobby to make your life more fulfilling was ableist, but I have to point out that this statement is ableist because you're saying that because somebody's disabled, they aren't able to follow their dream. I myself have multiple mental disabilities on top of a lifelong of suicidal depression. Disabilities are only disabilities in an able-bodied world. I choose to live in my own world.
This was kind of rough, but and again, these are all really good examples that demonstrate that things can be done in impossible situations, which is great, and that is 100% true. But again, it's not taking in consideration the single mother trying to support her kids, working 2 jobs, barely able to afford rent or even food. There's situations like that out there, and this kind of overlooks them. She actually says, all that being said, obviously not every message applies to every person. It's important to use context when talking about rejecting advice. If someone's paralyzed from head to toe, obviously I'm not telling them to get off TikTok and pick up a hobby, but to people in the comments section calling me privileged for having a lot of hobbies or for people looking for a kick in the butt to improve their life, get a hobby, LMAO. I'm going to say that Gabbie Hanna had well intentions here. I believe that's what I'm going to believe. You can believe whatever you want, but there are some, it's like good messages mixed in with a big disconnect of not understanding other world situations. And I think that's where it comes off as privilege, because she is demonstrating that she doesn't understand the single mother's struggles. And just saying some really harsh things on top of it. But at the end of the day, I'm going to believe that, you know, she meant good, because the crazy thing is that a lot of what she's saying is true. Life's rough, and if you want to change your life situation, it is going to be difficult to do so sometimes. And sometimes it's really worth it. Sometimes the struggle's worth it. But like I said, take your time and pace yourself. You don't have to force yourself to get a hobby or anything like that, but just do what makes you feel comfortable. That being said, and as interesting as this is, there's always something that's more interesting to me. That's right, you guessed it. I want to know what you think. So much good. Leave your creative and or interesting responses in the comment box below. Thumbs up, folks. Like as always, brothers and sisters. I will see you. Oh, head pat. In the next video. I'm feeling pretty good today. I myself have picked up a lot of new hobbies. I've been going out doing what I love, and I've lost a lot of weight. I think in the last, I don't know, I've met my weight goal. I'm at 165 right now. I got my abs back. I'm feeling good. Got a little color on my face from being out in the sun. I want to thank my patrons. Thank you for your continued and ongoing support. And if you want to support what I do here on the channel and get your name at the end of my videos, I'll put that in the pinned comment. Rest in peace to Greg the cat. I hope everybody's having a good summer so far. It's good to see you. I'm going to try to upload more videos this week. Let's see if I can hold myself to that. Yeah. Don't forget to be the awesome person that you are. And don't forget to subscribe with notifications turned on. Be in the comment section every single video, because I'm going to be there. Greg the cat's going to be there in spirit, and the rest of the Red Sox community as well. And I expect to see you there too, because this channel loves you. Kombucha.